Hi, I'm Liz, and I'm a junior math education major. Last year, I made some videos during an NISG election season that got a lot of views and also got responses from the candidates. So I figured that I'd do the same again this year. To start with, I should probably say that I know 5 out of the 6 people on all the tickets for president and vice president. The only one that I don't know is Brendan. So sorry, Brendan, I don't really know who you are. If you're a student watching this video, I highly encourage you to do what I am doing, which is to read the candidates' platforms, write down stuff that you like, write down stuff that you don't like, write down questions that you have, things you want to know more about, and then ask them. Ask the candidates questions. If you're one of the candidates, hi! I hope that you'll take the time to actually watch this and answer some of the questions that I pose, and I really appreciate it. I would like to say something about the websites because Morgan Johnson is one of my good friends and has made me into somewhat of a design critic. So I definitely have opinions on all the sites, and I think a good website is important because it's kind of like the face that you present of your campaign. I looked at all 3 websites, and I think that Jordan and Kaylee's is the best designed from my perspective. It was very easy to navigate. It looked nice. Kyle and Brendan's website came next. I thought they did a really good job. The only thing that I didn't really like about the website was that at the top it has options for different ways that you can view the website, and basically if you choose any one other than the one that it's defaulted to, their site becomes really confusing and you can't navigate it very well. Trevor and Beth, I really liked the design of your website, but it is a Flash site, which I think I mentioned last year. Rhonda and Adam's site was a Flash site, and Flash sites, then you can't link to a specific part of the site. You can only link to like the home page of it, and then you have to navigate from there, which can be somewhat problematic when a lot of the campaigning is being done through Facebook and things like that, and people are trying to share things. So this morning, after my first class, I read everyone's platforms through, which is something that I hope everyone will do before they vote, because it's very important not just to vote for someone you like as a person, but someone who you really think will do the best for this university. It only took me about half an hour to read through everyone's platform quickly. I'll probably go back and read them again later, but if you're complaining that it takes too long or something, it doesn't. I'm just going to go in the order in which I originally read them this morning. I read Kyle and Brendan's first. Some ideas that I really liked from your platform were that freshmen would be encouraged not to bring cars to campus, the idea of a Northern Iowan app, the UNI AM personalized statements, and the freshman walk, and the athletics celebrating academics point. Are your senators having office hours idea? I think that's really great because I feel like there's currently a disconnect between senators and their constituents. And some of that will hopefully be helped by the smaller size of NISG for next year, but I also think it would be really nice if, say, the College of Ed senator said, I will have office hours from 3 to 4 every Monday, and that would just be them studying in the lobby of Schindler or something, and then people could come and talk to them if they wanted to. I think that it wouldn't really be that much of a hassle for the senators to do, and I think that it'd be really beneficial for the transparency and accessibility of the student government. I also really liked the growl it out idea. If you're my friend, you know that I'm very passionate about the Panthers, about UNI pride, and being proud of this place that we go to. I think that if you really like the Hawkeyes more than you like the Panthers, then you should have gone to Iowa. I'm from Iowa City, and I grew up a hardcore Hawkeye fan, and I think that. And so I think the idea of giving students the opportunity to trade in clothing that they have from other universities for clothing from this university, and to show that they have made that transition to having Panther pride is really awesome, and I'm excited about it. The Student Organization of the Week, just wondering how they would be selected, if it would be by nomination or committee, because you could run into troubles if people aren't nominating organizations. The B-lot extended hours idea I think is great, but what would need to happen for that to be true? I know there are reasons why the B-lots aren't open overnight, and I'm assuming some of those same reasons might be roadblocks to having extended hours for them. Bringing politicians to students in an informal setting like lunch at the union is really great, but I'm wondering how interested the politicians are in it. I think students would be really interested, but wondering if you've contacted anyone from the other side to see if they'd be interested in participating in something like that. Next, I looked at Jordan and Kaylee's platform. Some things that I really liked from their platform are online professor evaluations. All of their green initiatives are really good. The fact that they want to continue Panther points, or their policies on voting in the US presidential elections in November. They're the only candidates that mentioned it, and I didn't even think about it myself until I read it in their platform. But I think that it's a very important thing. It's quite possibly going to be the biggest thing that happens within the term of this UNI president and vice president. And just as it's really important for students to vote informed in these elections, it's even more important for students to vote informed in the governmental elections and for students to vote. And I think that being at college, you can either be really involved in politics or you can ignore them completely. And I don't think that it should just be those extremes. I think that everyone should have a degree of being informed, and that everyone should feel like they should vote. Their disabilities initiative, which is another thing that I would never think about, but now that I do think about it, is pretty important. Like, just a simple thing like knowing which door you're going to want to go in when you go to the union, if you're in a wheelchair or on crutches or something, is going to be so helpful. And I don't think that a lot of those things would be hard to do, but they're just really good ideas. Calendar events app and the board in the union that you mentioned, I'm just wondering how people would get on that, and whether it would be like anyone who submits something can be on it, because that could get overwhelming and be not very useful. Or if just NISG is deciding what goes on it, you can miss a lot of things pretty easily. So I'm just wondering what the process you're thinking of would be to get things on that calendar. Lastly, I looked at Trevor and Beth's platform, and I really liked their idea of video blogs, because this is a video blog. I like video blogs. They're really easy to do. They don't take a lot of time, and I think they really increase familiarity with the administration if we were to do that, and I think that it would make people feel more connected to them and more accessible. I also think people are more likely to watch a 3 to 5 minute video than they are to read an article or a column. I also really liked your idea of motion censored lights in frequently used areas so that we don't waste as much energy by having lights on all the time. Other than that, unfortunately, I'm going to say that Trevor and Beth's platform is pretty vague and needs to be fleshed out a lot. I feel like you have more principles that you want to stand behind, which is great, and I think that's a great thing to run on, but I think you need to just tell us more about what your actual ideas are. I look forward to answers from any of the candidates, and I look forward to seeing more questions from other voters, and I hope that everyone has a great week. Go Panthers!